What's going on, guys? Steve Pulaski back with another video review, this time of Rings. Now, let's get some clarity out of the way here first, because I was confused as hell walking into this movie. Rings is the second sequel in the American franchise called The Ring. The original Ring came out in 2002. The sequel came out in 2006, The Ring 2, and now we have Rings in 2017. The Ring from 2002 is a remake of the Japanese film from 1998 called Ring, and it's based off a book called Ring. Now that we got that out of the way, so this is a sequel. I thought it was a remake at first. I thought it was a remake or a reboot, and it really is essentially more of a reboot than it is a sequel, because, I mean, it's, picking up where we left off from a franchise that's, more or less lay dormant for 11 years. The film, or I mean, first off, I guess I should go into the concept. I mean, a lot of people kind of already know it's been lampooned for years, but The Ring is essentially about a videotape. It's a short videotape. It's a VHS tape, couple minutes long, that people watch, and after they watch it, they get a phone call of a woman saying 7 days. Basically, after they watch this movie, they have 7 days to live. The film stars Matilda Anna Ingrid Lutz and Alex Rowe. These two are like boyfriend and girlfriend. They go to separate schools, though. And one day, he's not calling or texting her back, so she winds up coming down to his school and finding out that he watched this videotape per an experiment done by his professor to try and find out if they could witness a soul. So now he's watched the tape, she eventually watches it, and the two now have 7 days to live. And what winds up really happening from that point is that the girl in the film kind of sees like strange parallels with the tape when she watches it. She sees some of her own life etched into it and such, and these very odd circumstances start happening. The boyfriend and girlfriend wind up traveling across the continental United States to try and figure out the story behind the girl, the black-haired, real grizzled woman in the film, or in the video that they watch. So Rings, while it continues, obviously the plots and the conventions of the original, the first two, I can't even call them original, but while it continues those, it kind of goes off on its own path, and for the most part, this is successful. It really is. I think it's an admirable movie. It definitely does a good job at trying to infuse a narrative. Like, okay, it's kind of silly that we're going back to this, this old franchise now. Are you going to give us something new? And it's not so much that it gives us anything new, but it at least gives us a narrative to cling on to. Of course, there's lackluster characters in the film. Of course, there's some pretty vapid decisions made. But I think that, like The Bye-Bye Man, it really does a nice job at, giving a method to the madness. You know what I mean? There's enough narrative here to go well with the scares. I think just the issues that I had, besides the fact that the characters are pretty vacant, you know what I mean, for as much narrative as they're given explaining the history of the ring, they're not really given much to do. The other issue I take with the film is that the same I did with Blair Witch, and it's very similar. They're both made by Paramount, okay? They're both coming out at a time, they're trying to thrive on nostalgia to get people into the theaters again. The same thing I had with Blair Witch is like, you're transporting a concept into the modern day, yet you can't really decide if you want to make it modern or you don't. I mean, Blair Witch they made very modern, but I thought that worked against the film. This is just kind of like a hybrid, and it's very strange because there's VHS tapes and there's iPhones. You know what I mean? It's like they can't make up their mind with that. It's a very, very odd kind of predictable or kind of weird predicament too, because first the video's on the tape only, then it's on the iPhone. So there's some very strange continuity issues with the movie too. But not a bad movie. I'm giving it 2.5 out of 4 stars, or a C+ on Influx Magazine. It is a pretty effective movie in a lot of situations, but there's a couple things, genre conventions, if you will, that bothered me. I'm Steve Pulaski. Please read my full review on Rings to get my full thoughts. You can read the review in the link below or on Influx Magazine. Thank you guys and gals for watching and for subscribing. I'll see you on the next video review.